Have you ever been around someone where, like, you kind of pick up on the slight shade that they always kind of throw at you? You always kind of like pick up on the slight shade that they might try to be serving to you. And it's like really on a subtle, passive aggressive, resentful, quiet level. You know, like those people that really are trying to say something against you, but they are not going to say it against you directly. So they'll say like little roundabout things to discredit either what God's doing in your life, or discredit where God has you, or discredit the things that they see happening in your life. I realized this over the past few years, that people are trying to, like, when people see you walking in a certain confidence with God, it offends them, because they are like, who are you to think this way about God? Or who are you to think this way about what God has for you? Maybe they don't think that way about what God has for them, and so your belief and your faith might offend them. And instead of them being honest with themselves and just saying, hey, her light offends me, and asking themselves, why does that person's light offend me? They say these little backhanded things to you to try to make themselves feel better. You know, it's the little things. Oh, well, you know, I don't need to have all this in my life. I don't need to have all this in my life. I just want to do such and such. Okay. That's fine. Oh, I don't want to see the world. I just want to do this. Okay, but I do. Oh, I don't need to have a nice car. I don't need to drive a nice car. I just want to die and go to heaven. Okay. Touche. But as for me, I am coming for everything that God has ordained and destined for my life, with no apologies. I'm not going to apologize for the blessings God gives me financially, spiritually, or naturally in my life. I'm not going to apologize for it. And one thing we have to learn is that everybody has a different purpose. I am so thankful that I learned my purpose when I was about 20 years old. About 16 years ago, I learned my purpose in the kingdom of God. I learned that I had a purpose on this earth. I learned that I was alive for a reason. I learned that my journey with God is not going to look like somebody else's. And I learned that God made me the way he did for a reason. God gave me certain desires in my heart for a purpose. And that keeps me from comparing myself to other people. That keeps me from wanting what somebody else is doing. That keeps me so focused on my lane and loving where I am in all seasons. People be like, wow, I really watch you and you literally maximize your season. Yes, because I know my purpose. I desire to live a life that is not ordinary. I don't want an ordinary life. God never birthed me from my mom's womb, created me with the personality I had as a child, taught me the things and allowed me to experience certain things for me to be ordinary. God never intended for that to be my life. And because I know that was not God's intentions on my life, I'm not going to shrink down in size because somebody else may not have that desire. Somebody else may not have been taught that they can believe for that. Some people think that they have to believe for the smallest things in the world just to be right with God. And I'm sorry, that's just not my story. That's not my testimony. That's not my portion. So, yeah.